Alright. Hello, and welcome to another Devstream breakdown. Devstream 62. Not a lot happened on this stream in terms of actual news. There was like a costume thing, Halloween stream, like all kinds of other kind of extra stuff happened, but we didn't get a particularly large amount of news, except for a thing that Rebecca was not supposed to show, but totally did, that I have a screenshot of. I will talk about in a second. And some news that has me very worried, which we'll also talk about. But first, the Warframe app. So that's in final bug testing, and it looks like it has all of the functions that you would actually want from it. Foundry, Kubros, extractors, all the stuff that you would want to be like, oh, I need to start that forma up, or I should get my dog out of stasis. Stuff like that. It seems to have all of that functionality, and they were talking about possibly adding login rewards or a minigame to earn resources or something like that in later, which all seems good. That'll be coming out for iPhone and Android at the beginning of next month, hopefully. Probably though, because it has been a while, and it looked like it was pretty close to done. Definitely, like, seems like a final bug testing type thing. And then other news that may not be that important. They have a new mocap studio. So some interesting information that I kind of didn't expect to learn. They had a single person only mocap, which, considering the quality of the animations that go on in the game, is actually incredibly surprising, because the quality of the animations is actually really, really high, considering they only had single person available mocap. That's pretty good. But now they have multi-person mocapping, which is hugely beneficial for cutscene and just for general streamlining of like animation inputs, especially I assume like assassinations and stuff, which would be way easier if you have another person that you can mocap, and just more precise animation technology makes everything easier. So we could probably expect more animations and probably higher quality animations. So that's good news. So let's get into the more meaty news. This is supposedly releasing next week. Before they showed it, they said it was releasing next week. I would not be surprised if it got a little bit delayed at this point, because there are some great issues that myself and the chat was definitely noticing with Saryn's rework. We did not get to see the skin, but apparently the skin will come out at the same time as the rework, which is great and all. But that is not going to be good if they ruin Saryn. So the goal that they're kind of going for right now in like a bunch of different frames, and they've been doing a pretty successful job of it, is making frames more interactive. I think they succeeded with Excalibur, 100%, a million %. I think they succeeded with Frost. I think they succeeded with Mesa. Slight nerf to Mesa, maybe some more tweaks were needed, but on the whole, I think they succeeded with Mesa. Mesa still is a great frame. And the way that Saryn works right now is that you mod her for like negative duration and a bunch of strength, and she nukes things and kills it all like pretty much instantly for like a great deal of levels. And that's hugely useful. And I understand why they would want to make it so you don't just press 4 all the time, and that makes sense. But what we were shown like the current build, the negative duration, the high strength, and that didn't work on a level 40 Bombard, which is lower than what I would call like a basic test. Like, my basic test is level 50 enemies if a thing is good or not. That's the if it's good or not test, is level 50 for like general things. That's what I test at. It was taking a long time to kill this Bombard with the negative duration build, which I kind of expected. And that was fine, because I was like, well, yeah, that's the build you're not supposed to use anymore. Sure. Then we switched over to the build that is high duration, high strength. And it appeared to not get that much better, even when you stack your 1 and you use that shitty contagion thing that she still has for some reason, and you have your 4 on this enemy, and you're swinging at them with contagion. It was still taking more than instantaneous amounts of, like, when those 3 things combine, it should die. it should be long dead. In fact, at level 40, if you cast your 1 and then hit 4, it should vaporize instantly. And that might be a bit of like a weird thing, because it seems like they want to get away from like instant killing things with your 4. But when you combine skills, you need them to be significantly more effective. So, and this is going to be like kind of a larger thing before we move on, and I'm sorry for those of you that don't want to hear about like my opinions on skill combinations and stuff. But basically, let's take Excalibur for example. Excalibur has his 2, Radial Blind. It's good on its own. It's a fine stun. Stun some dudes and shoot some dudes, and that's fine. That's a totally usable ability. On any other frame, you'd be like, absolutely. But then, also, you have Excalibur's ult, which is Exalted Blade. It's a melee weapon, and when enemies are blind, you get a bonus to melee damage. So if you're using your 4, and then you use your 2, you get a huge bonus for combining those abilities, and it is incredibly effective. Like, you murder the shit out of enemies when you do that, and it feels awesome to do. But it costs energy. And the way energy is costed in the game is very important, because you want to be using about the same amount of energy to get the same amount of work done. Based on your, based on your efficiency. Excalibur, even only using like a streamline, can totally hit his 4, hit his 2, and kill a bunch of guys and clear like a whole room pretty easily. More advanced modding makes that way more efficient, and you can do more with it. That's what modding does. At the base level, it works. That's really important, is that your basic skill set works. With Saryn, this is a maxed out build, and you were killing one enemy super slow when you combine your 1, your 4, and your 3. No. The 1, the 4, and 3, that's 100 and I think it's 175 energy. If it's not, I'll have it on screen what the number values actually equal out to. 175 energy to kinda kill a guy a little. Sorry. On top of that, this is supposed to be a more duration-focused Saryn build. So if you wanted to use less energy, you have to hamper yourself by using fleeting expertise on your build, which is directly negatively impacting you to be able to actually efficiently cast all 3 abilities. On top of that, Saryn, who's a little tanky but has no real defensive skills, like honestly, like you're gonna get shot a couple times at high levels and you're gonna die most of the time, unless you're building more tanky, which you can't really build more tanky when you need to build to do damage when you don't do enough. You need to get close with Contagion and hit them with your melee weapon to do real damage. Like, her 1 plus her 4 should be pretty good, and then if you combine her Contagion, like her 1 and her 4 should clear level 40 enemies, like mop them up, no fucking big deal. Like, we're done here, there's a bunch of goop everywhere, fuck you. Her adding in Contagion, the amount of like extra work that it is to use the energy for Contagion, that counts for sure. And then on top of that, actually get to the enemies and hit them with Contagion while your 4 is still active on them and your 1 is still active on them. Having to combine all of those things means that enemy, until they're like level 100, should be fucking vaporized into nothing. I don't know. If that needs to be talked about more, about like what the fuck is like actually worth using, like that takes Saryn from right now, you hit 4 and you kill everything, which is kind of boring, but it's effective. You need to have the same end result of being able to murder the absolute fuck out of things and make it regularly achievable, but more interactive. Because the way Excalibur was is you would hit your radial javelin and you'd murder the shit out of like an entire fucking map. The way it works now is you use your 4 and you can kill a lot of dudes. And then you hit your 2 when there's some like real shit going on, so you can blind them and like amp up your damage crazy high and like keep going and be mowing through people still. that is like what you want. You want that sustainability, that like that crazy hike in damage whenever you start combining your stuff. You shouldn't have to combine your stuff against like piss poor shit enemies like a level 40 bombard. That enemy should not be able to stand up to a half modded weapon for like more than 10 seconds. If it's a decent weapon. Obviously they're bad weapons. So like a fully modded Saryn should be killing legions of level 70 enemies by nature of being Saryn, who her job now is to do that type of shit. But whatever. Sorry for rambling. I don't want to see them rework a frame and then make them totally useless, and I think the reaction of chat may make it so that does not happen, but what we were shown on the dev stream was a nightmare. It stabs the Saryn, it kills her, she dies. So let's just move on to something that is more pleasant. Rebecca managed to steal a screenshot of what the progress is on the Trinity skin, and that is this. Honestly, if this is like a really early work in progress, whenever this skin is done, it's gonna be fucking awesome. Like, honestly, this skin is really nice. Even like as it stands, like add PBR, basically done. It looks great. That skin I think is gonna be instantly bought by me. It looks really, really nice. I like it a lot. Okay, there's that. And then finally we have the Tennogen stuff. Tennogen is the Steam Workshop skins and such that came out recently with the tool set. Apparently next week they're going to do their like first judging, which I think is Sindana skins and some other like basic skin work. And then the week after that is when they want to release those skins, which is awesome. If we're going to get more content dumps, especially community dumps that are maybe voted on at some point, that sounds like it's really awesome for the game, and that will just generally be a great thing. So that's kind of all that happened on the dev stream. If you guys would like me to talk about how, like, what makes an ability worth using and stuff like that, let me know, and I will totally make a video on that, because it's something I care a lot about in terms of giving a player a choice that is meaningful as opposed to an obvious answer. So, hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. I know there wasn't a lot to go over this week, but there's one other thing I have to cover, and that is that I hit 2,000 subscribers. That means probably you guys watching right now, and some others probably, maybe, hello, hi, want to watch the stuff that I put out every day, or at least sometimes, and that means a huge amount to me. I think I've said this before probably, doing the YouTube stuff and like putting out stuff that people want to watch is really awesome for me, and like knowing that I'm doing something that makes other people like happy to see like a video go up every day and stuff like that is just awesome. Just seeing like people have watched my stuff and like reading the comments and stuff, that is awesome. And just everything about the whole thing, and like the fact that the number of people that want to watch my stuff goes up like every day is like crazy, because obviously back whenever I was like, I don't know, I had like 10 subscribers, I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this, because like there were like 2 people watching, and I was like, 2 people watching is enough, and that was like great. Like even like getting like 1 comment like a month was like awesome, but now it's like crazy, and I really appreciate it, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who watches and is subscribed and comments. And even if you're not subscribed and you don't even have a YouTube account and you watch my stuff, that's awesome, and I appreciate it greatly. So thank you for watching, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.